E hoa ma, I'm Lucas.
And I'm Maya, and for this week's edition of Nature Academy, we're in Taranaki, and we're going to be learning about Project Reef Life! Project Reef Life is centred around a reef that is located 11 kilometres offshore of Patea at a depth of 23 metres. We're here in Patea to interview Rebecca, daughter of Karen Pratt, the project's founder. Rebecca is also Project Reef Life's media lead and seems to be just as keen on marine life as us.
Kia ora, Rebecca. Thanks for having a kōrero with us about Project Reef Life.
Oh, thanks for coming to talk to us.
We were lucky enough to learn about Project Reef Life when Curious Minds ambassador Karen Pratt delivered a presentation in Wellington in November last year. But if you were to talk about the project to someone who'd never heard about it, how would you describe it?
Well, that's an awesome question. I would describe it as colourful because I think a lot of people think of the ocean as a big blue place, right? And when you get under that surface of the ocean, in the case of our project, it's so colourful. The different sponges, the different fish species. And talking about different fish species, we have so many different species out at the reef. So from the tiniest of zooplankton to the fish, we put a hyphone down which records the sounds of the reef, and it picked up the sounds of a humpback whale. And I think really important is that it's a rocky reef, right? Because a lot of people think that reefs are coral reefs, but that's not always the case.
Ka nui te pai. So, Project Reef Life kicked off in 2015. How did it all start?
Well, I would like to say that it started with curiosity. When I was about 18 years old, my mum had a conversation with a local diver, and he started telling her these stories of the amazing animals out there and the reefs. And so that kind of got Mum thinking, and she got really curious, and it just so happened that in 2015 the government had an initiative whereby community and scientists could work together on a project and get funding for that. And so Mum thought, well, why not partner with the South Taranaki Underwater Club and get a team together and apply to study a reef with some funding.
We know that from learning about several marine reserves throughout Te Upoko or Te Ika-a-Maui that every area is unique. What makes the Patea site so special?
Off the South Taranaki coast, you've got this very shallow shelf that extends out, and that's where the reef is located. So 23 metres depth means that we can study it.
One of the super cool things I remember about the project is that you've got an in situ camera located at the reef. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Absolutely, yeah. So we wanted to be able to study the reef life in its natural environment and see how they behave naturally. So we were like, how can we do this? How can we kind of like spy on the animals down there? Engineers came up with kind of their own in situ camera, created it, built it, and then we took a scuba diver down. They attached it to 1 ton of concrete that looks very much like a pyramid because we didn't want to attach this to the reef, right? And the camera, every 20 minutes, switches on for 30 seconds, records the reef life, and then switches off, so they don't really know. And it does this day and night. And we have all of this footage, right, of these animals behaving naturally in their natural environment. So we go through that, and we found some really cool things on the footage, which I can show you if you want. Do you want to have a look?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'm going to hold your
seaweed.
this one.
Since we started a Nature Academy, we found that conservation projects bring the community together as well as benefiting Papatūānuku. Is this your experience?
Definitely. I think our project is as strong and successful as it is because of the kind of community that's come around it. For example, we have divers, scuba divers, we have 2 local iwi, we have 2 partner schools, we have engineers, we have artists. I think the thing about the ocean, right, is that you can communicate it in so many different ways. For example, if you pass through Patea, look to the right and you'll see a building that's pretty much covered by a huge mural an artistic interpretation of the Project Reef, which is super cool to see because it's all those colours and all those species kind of represented. So yeah, I think the ocean can be communicated in a variety of ways, and the community is a crucial part of doing that.
We remember from Karen's presentation that a new species of sponge was discovered during Project Reef Life. That must have been super exciting. What can you tell us about these cool creatures?
Before this project started, we didn't know a single thing about sponges. Didn't know a single thing. And it was only with the project starting and looking at the reef and seeing all these different sponges all over it that we were like, what are sponges? So we got in contact with a New Zealand sponge expert who provided us with this awesome guide, and it's got all the different, kinds with all the proper names
of sponges.
Well, yeah, I guess you could say, you could call it that. My mum got the guide, and this is during Project Reef Life now. She's learning all about sponges, educating herself about them, being curious. And then she was walking along the beach one day and she noticed this odd looking sponge. And she's like, I haven't seen that in the guide. So she collected it and she sent it away to be looked at. And it turns out that it was a new species of sponge. So super cool, right? And that's just from curiosity and kind of, looking at your local environment. Here are some of the little sponges that we've collected and looked at and analysed off like our local beach.
It's a real small sponge in there.
Yep, and like this guy, so pretty large.
Right.
And so you can see all the little holes, and because they're filter feeders and they're animals, so that's a really important point.
It sounds like this project has already achieved so much. Pai tō mahi. Going forward, what's your hope and dreams for this project?
I hope the story of this project will inspire others to have the courage and determination to follow their own curiosities. So whether that's the marine environment or something else.
Ka maute wehe. That's awesome. Thanks so much for the interview, Rebecca.
Oh, you are so welcome.
Ai tika tēnā, and for giving up your Sunday to talk with us.
Oh, you are so welcome. Thanks for having me.